What's going on, Pizza fam? Listen, before we get into the episode, I just wanted to make a quick shout out to Thrive POS. They've recently partnered with the podcast and they bring an exclusive offer for our listeners. Listen, Thrive POS is not just a POS system. It was built for operators just like us. It's fast, it's reliable, and most importantly, it helps us focus on what matters: our pizza, our people, and our profits. Check out the exclusive offer from Thrive POS at thrivepos.com/Pizza King, or just click the link in the description. Now let's get into the episode. What's going on, Pizza fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Pizza King podcast. Today is Friday, so you already know what that means. It's Takeout Tips. Quick little 5 minutes to help you get going, help you get through your week, help you implement something that is useful in the shop. We're doing it a little bit different because, as you know, or as we talked about last week, or we skipped last week, I forgot about that. It was right after Christmas. But the week before, we talked about how we're taking over a new pizzeria. We're just a few days away now, taking over on Monday. Actually, Monday, January 5th, is going to be our first day. So I want to use this time in this space to just kind of talk through the processes and walk us through the things that I'm doing and the changes that we're making in the shop and the progress that we're making, because I think it's important to really just share that and be transparent. Because of this, there's going to be a few changes, just in general. First really big news and big change is that we're going to pause the Tuesday live webinar just for a little while, probably 90 days, just until I can, establish some new routines, really, get the shop where it needs to be, and then we can focus on bringing those back. I did have one that was a good one. I recorded it, so we'll just keep that up, and anybody that wants to go out and view that webinar and look at that workshop, it'll be there on the site. It's available, so you can still watch it. There's still a replay available. But as far as doing new ones and doing live, we're going to pause that for a little while. Not going anywhere, just pausing it while we focus on the shop. One of the big things that has been, popping up a little bit for me is, hey, why are you going to go back into a brand that you just sold? Didn't you used to own a West Shore Pizza, and now you're gonna do it again? Like, yeah, I want to do it again because there's an opportunity. But I thought it was important just because people have been asking me that I address it right here on the pod, because y'all my people. Number one is, look, since we sold the shop, I have been looking and selling the shop we got some money. I just want to back that up. Yeah, we got some money. It was not forever money. It's money, but it's not forever money. So I had to continue to work and build and, contribute to my family. So I've been looking for a job, looking for work. I've been applying to different positions and, different companies. I have a deep, background and experience in franchising, just looking for different opportunities. Although I was limited here in Tampa with what I could do, I was, because of the non-compete, really couldn't do anything in pizza outside of the West Shore Pizza brand here in Tampa. So I was looking at different opportunities, different brands, and nothing that really, just fit where I was and what I'm trying to do and, the goals that I have for myself and my business and my personal brand. There wasn't anything that was in complete alignment with that. Got some interviews, went kind of deep with one company, didn't really work out, but that's fine. So with that being said, I'm like, okay, I still have to make some money here. I got to support my family. And when this opportunity came up, I had, really just reached out to my buddy who's the owner, the current owner of that store. And I was just letting them know, like, hey, I've been, kind of helping out some West Shore Pizzas, because that was part of the loophole, was that I could still work in brand. I just couldn't, I could support in brand. I couldn't work in brand. But I'm just kind of letting them know, hey, I'm available. I've been doing some marketing stuff. I've been helping stores with their text and email campaigns, just making a little bit of money here and there. And he goes, I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, I'm available if you need some help. And he called me and said, you want to buy it? I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe. Let's see what that looks like. And started to have some conversations, reached out to his partner, talked to Paul Sanson, who's the president and CEO of West Shore Pizza. And within a couple of days, we were quickly able to kind of ink out a deal and figure out something that works good for everybody. So that's kind of how we got there. And why, after weighing the pros and cons, it was pretty obvious like this is still a good opportunity for me and for us. It's literally a couple of miles from my house. The store is already breaking even. Small staff, their hours have been limited because they haven't been able to kind of overcome the staffing challenges. Not a whole lot of downside, in my opinion. The price for the sale was just right. Not a ton of risk there as far as that goes, and there's a ton of support on the franchise side. So in the way of marketing, in the way of operational support, and just having that inside knowledge and track as I do with West Shore Pizza, I understand everything that it's going to take to really turn the store around and where it could be. So it's not like I'm going in blind, if that makes any sense. So with that being said, we talked to my wife and we decided that all right, let's go ahead and take this chance. So here we are, a couple of weeks later, signing documents, got our franchise agreement, and we're moving forward with it. But I wanted to step by step kind of take you through my process for turning a store around, a store that has been struggling, a store that has, tons of upside and tons of potential. We have a very, I hate to say very strict process, but I understand the steps that we need to take to get it where it needs to be. Next week one, we hit the ground running. The very first step, and everything that we do is based around really, the same framework or the same guiding principles: mindset, routine, and communication. Mindset, routine, communication. But we use that framework to attack things systematically, step by step. And the very first step is food safety and sanitation, cleanliness. Like we start to change how it feels in the shop before we start to work on how the shop operates and how we market and all of those things. So very first week, man, we're just attacking, just cleaning it up. Literally just cleaning up, pressure washer, just cleaning the floors, cleaning the walls, cleaning the equipment, gaskets, wheels, handles, you know, throwing out things that, just got too much grease on it to be clean, deep scrub on fryers and grills while we continue to assess everything that's there. And I've been in the shop a little bit over the last couple of weeks. So I got a pretty extensive list on things that need to be fixed or repaired or thrown out or cleaned. So we just start stage one there. We just clean, and this is everybody shoulder to shoulder. Like, let's just clean it up. If we got to get a case of beer, then we get a case of beer. But we clean it up and we reset how the store feels. That's mindset. Then we move on to routine. What do we do every day? So then I start to install daily practices around food safety and sanitation. Number one, line check. Easiest thing to do. Let's make sure we're checking our line for quality. Let's make sure we're checking to make sure our equipment's working. I always start with just a manual process, a clipboard, and then we'll move on through safety culture, which I love, through safety culture, and we'll move on to like a more app-based version of it. But first, we build habits and we build routine by doing it on paper and just checking it every single day, twice a day. Mindset: clean it up, make it feel good, make everybody understand that we care about this place. Secondly, routine. We start with the line check. We move on to a more digital version as the weeks grow on, and we just build on these things every single week. But this is where we start. We start putting that in place. We start in the back with prep. We'll do line checks, and then we go into prep, making sure everything's dated, labeled, accurately measured, and we protect the recipes through food safety. We, make sure we got everything in place: the red buckets, the green buckets. We got sanitation, sanitizers, right? We got tablets, or we got liquid. Like all of those things, we just go straight down the list, and we make sure that all of those things are in practice. We make sure that we have food safety handler cards and books for everybody. We make sure our food safety managers are certified and ready. All of our managers have their certifications, and if they don't, then we schedule or we do it. I'm not a proctor, but I know a proctor, so we can get it done pretty quickly. But we address all of those things week one, right from the beginning. There's very little resistance when it comes to food safety. So we always start there because everybody understands how important it is, and nobody ever gives you pushback when it comes to doing the right thing by our guests and by our, just by our community, by, putting those processes in place. Then in step three, we move on to communication, and that is how we train, how we onboard. We bring people into this environment, and probably already got our first hire. I talked to a young lady last night who was looking for a cashier position. We need a cashier. So talk to her, get her. I got her the application, and we'll, wait to see what comes back. But even if it doesn't work out, we just want to make sure that we build our processes around bringing people into this environment and introducing them to them the right way. Because we are going to need people. We're going to need cooks. We're going to need cashiers. We're going to need drivers. But we want to make sure they come in ready to buy into what we're doing. So training. Food safety, I talked about it. Food safety handler, food handler training, making sure we have the materials available, making sure at onboarding, we go ahead and certify people, through that process. And there's so many different ways and avenues to do it. But yeah, through onboarding, we make sure that you get your food safety certification right then and there. Food safety managers talked about it just a second ago, making sure all of our managers are certified and able to administer the food handler cards. Addressing our onboarding process, how we hire, how we document, how we introduce and orientate folks, take them through the processes. This is where everything is. This is the expectation. This is how we handle slices. This is how we handle to-go orders. This is how we handle deliveries. This is how we change stations. This is where we wash hands. We have hand washing signs everywhere. So all of those things start to get addressed in the first week. And then through communication, we make those habits. So I'm excited about it. Of course, I will show videos and I will be there in the shop. I will be there again tonight, so maybe we'll drop a quick little video in. But yes, appreciate everybody. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. I've been posting some things on Instagram and Facebook. A lot of love being shown there. So, definitely grateful for all of that. But we are in the process now, and I'm taking you step by step. Week 1 is all about food safety, all about cleanliness. My pressure washer is about to get worked, but we will do it. Week 2, we start to talk about safety, security, cash handling. So I'm be looking forward to that conversation as well. But let's go. Pizza King Podcast. Happy Friday, everybody.
If you've gotten any value out of this episode or any of our other episodes, I need you to do me a favor. Go leave us a review. Every review on Apple, every 5-star rating on Spotify helps this show find more operators just like you and helps them get that same value that you're taking away from this episode. And as a thank you, anytime somebody leaves a review, sends me a screenshot, just DM me a screenshot of your review, I'm going to send you a free gift, something awesome, something cool. I'll send you a gift, whoever leaves a review. That's the challenge. Go leave a review, DM me a screenshot of it, and then I'll get you something. I got you something special from your boy. Now let's get back into the episode. Peace.